You're like,
I actually am going to re-record this section. For those of you that are on this live section with us, we are going to have till 8 o'clock, 20 minutes or so of Q&A. You can ask on, I know that we can't see your video, so you can type it on the chat in Zoom, or I am also on the Facebook thread. So if you have a question, it could be the question for one of us or a general question for all three of us. Now is just time to start posting your questions, and then I will read them as they come in.
I should stop screen sharing.
What's that?
You want me to stop screen sharing?
Yeah, why don't you do that? You can do that.
And then I have to do this fancy stop share. There we go. Okay. And that way we can see the chat too.
Okay. So first question from Kim. Aisha and Mandy, which kits do you talk about? Mandy, do you want to go first?
Sure. It's funny because I mostly teach my team to talk about Home Essentials Kit and the Family Essentials Kit. And a big reason of why I choose those two, it's not that I don't want to make the sale. It's because I think if people purchase too much, it's overwhelming. Because once they get it, then they go, oh my gosh, what did I do? I only really talk about like the diamond and the natural stuff for people who have experienced the oils before, or maybe they've gotten them from other people before and they sort of know what they're doing and they've kind of been involved, like people who've been using them throughout the years, but now they're discovering Terra. That's when I will talk to them. But for brand new people, I usually keep it pretty simple because I'd rather be training someone on an ABC level so that they're not scared to continue. Because I think if they're overwhelmed with too much, then I just think that I want to keep my customers there wanting to learn more. Now, that's my strategy. You guys do whatever strategy you want to do. If you're a salesy person where you're like, I'm going to make diamond next month, so I'm going to sell 100 PV worth of stuff, then go for it. I mean, do the upsell and make that happen. But my main goal is making sure my unilevel is stable. And to have a stable unilevel, you want your people to stick around, and you want you want people coming back and getting them on the LRP. And so I don't like to overwhelm them with too much, but again, to each his own. So yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, I love it. I agree. In a class, I also talk about the Home Essentials and the Natural Solutions kits. So those are the main ones I focus in the class. However, if I'm doing a one-on-one where I've really gotten to know somebody and their particular needs, then I will really recommend whatever kit I feel is truly right for them. And that's going to really depend. So it might be an every oil kit. It might even be a diamond kit, might be the Natural Solutions kit. So I really try to tailor that to what I'm hearing to give them the best solution. But again, in a class, I typically focus on those two kits.
I will tell you a trick. One of the things when you offer the diamond, the all oil, and the natural solutions is what happens is I ask people to close their eyes and think about what they'd like. And they often say they'd love the all oil kit. And so they've already said they can't afford the oil kit. And so what we say is, okay, I have if I could tell you a way to get that oil kit in 13 months, would you be interested? And most people say yes. So they end up enrolling with 100 PV. And what happens is they buy, like I'm in touch with them for 12 months and they buy 5, 6, 7 oils each month for 13 months. At the end of those 13 months, I buy them one of those $29.95 cases that our old oil kits used to come in. And I send them a card and say, congratulations on your all oil kit. So I have sold what is like an LRP all oil kit. But if they don't know what that is and they can't think bigger than what it is for me, and again, I'm intense and I like to sell things. And so I think that they should have everything, all the things, all the time at once, so they can solve anything. Because, some people get in and it's pretty intense. And the flip side of what Mandy's saying is they don't have what they need and they're not necessarily sure how to order it. And then they're like, well, I'm just going to use this, because they go back to a medicine that they have rather than ordering the oil, using the process and learning it. So I want them to have everything at their fingertips, be in such contact. So anyway, that's just another, like all of these things you have to do what's right for you and for what feels good and that you're going to do consistently.
Absolutely. Tiffin, there's a little confusion about what to post for our contest. Can you clarify that for everybody?
Sure. They're going to post either their favorite recording or their favorite video.
So voice recording or video of them doing the script.
It's 30 seconds.
Winning performance.
Or their hero, like they're at Emily Wright's house, you know, doing dynamic clothes with her, or at Mandy's. What if they went to Mandy's house? Mandy could be their hero.
I want to be entertained. Come on, my team. Don't put me to sleep. I want some silly stuff happening.
It's so good.
So Julie, you're asking, let's see. Yeah, you don't need to post all 3. And so you just need to post one of your 3. Okay, is that
do we want them to send us all of them now, or do we just want them to post the one, or do we want them to email us all of the?
Yeah, because I need to know that they've done it.
Got it.
Yeah, so for sure, for me, yes, my people need to send all 6.
Okay. Yeah, I want the same. You guys need to practice it.
Just go ahead and post them on the thread. Great. Okay, any other questions? And let me just look through the feed here.
Okay, I'm just gonna mute since I have some dog issues happening.
I don't see any other questions.
There's one there. It says pretty regularly. Yeah.
Go ahead and read it.
Pretty regularly, I come across people who have no health concerns. How do you address that?
Do you eat? Oh, if you do you like nutritious foods? Awesome. We have some great supplements that will help you get the best nutrition that you can possibly have. Something to that effect. Most people eat, and so that's pretty helpful.
So
go ahead.
Go ahead, Aisha. Go ahead.
I was going to say another thing that you can speak to is talking about all the amazing products that doTERRA has that you can replace that people are already using. Toothpaste, shampoo, laundry detergent. And really, last night we actually did a class on cleaning up your home of toxicity and toxins and getting rid of all of the toxic garbage people are using in their home and educate them about that process. And then also talk about people might be healthy, but at the same time, colds, flus, aches, pains, those are just common occurrences for most people and most families. So speaking to those points and really broadening the understanding of our use of oils. When I see accounts that are not on loyalty rewards, what that says to me is they have not been properly educated on all of the ways to use the oils, because who doesn't have stress in their life, right? Who doesn't get exhausted? Who doesn't occasionally need support with digestion? Who doesn't occasionally have aches and pains? Like, these are just all things that we have in the human body. So speaking about the oils on that larger context, and then as you're teaching to a class, getting clear about who's in your class and what their specific questions are. So as you're teaching, you can really target what is so for them. And if you really can't get them to embrace the oils for themselves, then find out if they have an animal.
Well, or, hello, family.
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
Not knowing has headaches.
Well, I only say the animal because so many times people will buy oils for their dogs, right? Oftentimes their dogs where I have one woman on my team, she wouldn't get the oils for her, but it was her chicken. She'd get the oils for her chickens, and now she uses the oils for her. So just, broaden your scope of education with what you're touching on. Anything you guys want to add to that?
I mean, what I would have to say is get an oil on that person. I mean, because honestly, I just have people who I give peppermint and orange to them and they go, okay, what is that? And sometimes it's not even just for health. People don't understand that health meaning physical health, but I mean, emotional and just smelling it and just experiencing, open the bottle, put it on the person. You always come with, oh, okay, that's great. Congratulations. I'm so glad you're so healthy. Let me give you a little pick me up, and then have them experience it that way. And then another thing is whether you're doing a class or 101, I'll usually say, so you don't really experience anything. I'm jealous. That's fantastic. Good for you. I'm going to show you a few ways, the top oils. I use them in my home. And by the time I get to peppermint, lemon, lavender, and I've listed 6, 7 things that I use with each one of them, usually they go, oh, I do have a hard time sleeping. And then they start going, oh, well, yeah, I do get heartburn if I do this. So they don't think it right off. They're thinking the big stuff, but it's like the small minuscule things like, I get irritable. Oh, I get irritable. What would you do for that? So funny. Every time I always point out talk to people before a class or before a one-on-one, and I get a feel for them. And usually the person who says, yeah, I'm good, I'm not sold on it, that's the person I'm like, oh, you just wait. Just watch. We're going to talk about it, and I'm going to make you switch your frame of mind, and every single time I get them enrolled.
And also, like what you guys both just talked about, when someone says that, it's actually your opportunity to ask better questions.
Yeah.
Because you haven't added enough value. They don't actually know what the oils do. And we just assume, I mean, after a year of being in this business, we speak doTERRA. Like, we speak like that. And then I'll meet someone that's like, hold on with the alien language. What did you say to me? Like, they have no idea what I'm talking about. What does that mean? What does this mean? And so just learning to always speak to your audience. Yeah. Like, you guys covered that so great.
Let's see, any more questions? Oh, Tiffin, why don't you take this one? How and when would you explain how they will get oils for less than wholesale?
Well, that's what below wholesale means. And so I just tell them it's the loyalty rewards program, and that they, like I said, I would definitely, so this is where everybody's personalities and who they work with comes in. I would work with your support system so that you can come up with phrases that make sense and that you can say easily. So for me, if I try to ask if someone's busy, if they're busy, I say, okay, and then they get this thing. And so it's a convenience. For some people, that's worth their weight in gold. It's priceless to them. Other people, like below wholesale, you get points, which are like doTERRA bucks. And so you get free products. That's free is obviously below wholesale. So I explain it that way. There's lots of different ways. You have to figure out the ones that you're comfortable saying and what works for you. You know, once you've purchased for a year over 50 bucks, you get this, or you get this. Like, it really depends on you and your personality and how quick on your feet you are. I know some people get lost in that. And so something else that you can do is you can divert. I love diversions. You know, you can just be like, oh, I cannot wait to talk to you about that when we meet on next Wednesday. When you get your oils and I help you set that up, we're going to talk more about that. And then you'll know more about them. You'll figure things out. Like, is that an answer? I feel like it's maybe not.
Tiffin, can you also offer some of your catchphrases that you use with your kits? I think that would be super helpful. Do you have a couple of them on the top of mind?
Yes, I call the Natural Solutions Kit the mini diamond kit.
Mm-hmm.
5 ways that you bring health and wellness into your home immediately. So you can immediately switch out your cleaning products. You can immediately switch out your toothpaste. You can immediately change out your shampoo. And so you have 5 ways that you were yesterday putting toxins on your body, and today you're healthier. Like, just in your family right away, it's a mini diamond kit. And a lot of times I'm like, it's the most value, the biggest bang for your buck. It's the one that really immediately gives you money back. Like, that's where it's below wholesale, or that's where you can explain the below wholesale pricing is you get $100 back in doTERRA bucks next month. So a lot of them circle around the Natural Solutions Kit. The Diamond Kit, Sarah Jansen, an amazing video that was shared with me, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 years ago. I don't even know where to find it. I have it somewhere on my page. And basically, it was a Zoom call, and she did the same thing as the clothes. There are 3 types of people that buy a diamond kit. The first type of person is someone who is huge on savings. If you want to save the most money, that's your kit. You're going to save this much money, and then you know the price. And then the other thing is, the second person that buys a diamond kit is someone who literally has to have everything at their fingertips at all times. They want to be ready. Like, they're the people that are earthquake ready or flood ready or this ready. Like, we all know those people. They have to have all the things. Even if they never use them, they have to have all the things. And then there's the third person that's like me, who wants to do this as a business. So, like, there's just ways to learn different techniques. And so, like, I have 3 on each, but some of those aren't comfortable for people. So when I work with my team, they tell me of the ones that I give them suggestions on what they could use, or what if I said this? And when they start coming up with their own catchphrases, there's a much better chance that they'll use them than the ones that I encourage them to use, because their brain, it's how they think, it's how they speak. And so that process, I think, is much more valuable.
Yeah, love it. Love it. There's another question. How could I respond if someone says, how can you prove to me they work? Mandy, do you want to take that question?
Sure, I can. It's funny because if someone says that to me, I'll be very honest with them. I'll be like, I can't prove it to you. You know how you use them. And all I can tell you is I've got a large essential oil family who thank their lucky stars every day that it came into their life. I have people who have had successes from using them. And then as much as I will tell you, I can send you to source2u.com. I can give you the background of Dr. Hill and all of the scientists and doctors and the background of doTERRA. I can tell you all of that, but until you open a bottle and use it, I can talk your ear off. You won't know until you're actually using it yourself. And you have to start basic and then you'll learn as you go. But the thing is, guys, keep in mind, there's a lot of people who just don't care. And there's a lot of people who don't want to hear this. There's a lot of people who they don't care about oils. They're probably not going to buy oils. And they might want to just be like, oh, I don't believe in this and that and blah, 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 blah. So you really have to face those people and go like, okay, and in your mind think, if you don't want to cherish my time and if you don't want to respect my time, I'm going to go ahead and give of my time to someone else who is interested in learning. Because if there's ever naysayers, please don't put your energy towards them. Please don't put a lot of energy into, I'm going to prove them wrong. They found this article and I'm going to prove them wrong that article isn't. Don't waste your time. Just be like, I'm so sorry that you got the wrong information. You must be so confused right now. If you would like for me to look into it for you, I will. But stay calm, stay confident. If you guys go, oh no, how can I prove? Let me call my mentor and see if they can give me documents on frankincense and cancer. And I will find this for you. Don't do that. Don't do that. You can say, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. I'm a representative of this company. I would love for you to use these products. I would love for you to come to convention and meet the people who do all the magic and the background check of all this stuff. But until then, you've got to find a love for these oils yourself. I don't know. Anybody else?
Perfect answer. And I also believe in trusting the oils and trusting somebody's process. Because I've certainly had so many people through the years that are skeptical and not interested maybe in that moment, but down the road they might be interested. And I don't worry about it. I just like release it and trust everybody's process and don't take it personally or wait for a pain point. If you stay in touch with that person and they have a cold or a flu or something's going on where you can give them a sample that's going to work for them and step in on that level. But it's really true. How can we prove that? If they don't want to go home and try them, then there's not a whole lot we can do to force that. So sometimes you just got to let people be in their process without trying too hard to convince them of anything. There's another question here. Let's see. Maybe Tiffin, do you want to take this one? What do you say to individuals who want samples before they purchase the oils?
Well, I always sample people effectively before they come to my class, so they've already been sampled. Once they buy a kit, I send them home with whatever they want. I mean, I want them to use the oils. I want them to have things. I don't often get for granted with samples, so I don't really have that problem. Once you hear the smartest way, a lot of people are like not asking me the dumb questions.
I think samples are great. I think you'll know when you're being swindled for samples.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't really bring samples with me to classes just because I don't have time to give you samples, but giving them to people, I don't have a problem with doing that. It's when I have a neighbor coming over for the 10th time and saying, can I try a sample of Serenity? Where I'm like, I've given you 3. Don't do that. Don't do that. They're just stocking up on samples. And at some point you just need to be like, you know what, you can do a limit on them. I've done a limit before where I've said my limit is up to 3. If you're interested in learning about a membership, $35. And you can have, as soon as you're a member, I can give you as many samples as you'd like. you know? So
it's also a super easy way where you say, oh, I already gave you that sample. Listen, if you want to buy these, you can buy them retail. It's $40 for a bottle of Serenity, or you can pay the membership fee. You can get them at wholesale, or you can use it below wholesale. What do you want to do today? Don't want the sample or what? Like normally they're like, okay, got it.
mm-hmm.
I think the last thing I'll throw in about sampling is that if that's where it's landing, then the key is to follow up with that person. So if you just give them a sample and they walk out the door and you never intend to follow up, then that's really a sample lost. But exchange the sample for an agreement to follow up with them in 2 days. Make sure they know how to use the sample. Make sure it's a relevant sample. Make sure you follow up, and if they have not used the sample, actually have them get the sample out while you're on the phone and walk them through how to use the sample, and then take it from there. So again, sometimes people need those processes, but it's your job to follow up and to support and to keep the educating going and make sure they know how to use it and keep the dialogue going. And it can actually be a really great way to keep the dialogue going versus them just leaving and taking nothing with them.
Can I just add, please do not give full bottles of samples. Okay, please save yourself the hassle. 10 drops. 10 drops is all they need. 1 or 2 experiences from that bottle of oil. You want them to come back. You fill this thing up, they're going to use it for 3 months and then come back for another one. So be smart about sampling. Make sure you're doing it real small, just a few drops. And if they're asking for like frankincense and helichrysum, I usually say, I'm sorry, those are ones I can have you try them here, but I'm not going to give you a whole bottle of frankincense or helichrysum. That's just not happening. Those are like gold. So I want to make sure you're using them. And if they're going to sit on your counter, it's just lost money right there, So however you want to sample is fine, but that's waste of your money if you're giving full bottles of samples.
Tiffin, question for you. Have you ever asked who would like to know how to purchase the oils and have no one say yes? What did you do?
No. I mean, no, I haven't had that happen. I mean, I think it does happen, but you're like, oh, okay, nobody wants to know, no problem, get out. I mean, I'm just like,
get out of the house, get out of my house, you're all stupid.
So here is the key, and this is part of the thing that we learned in Prague. When you sample effectively, it's like a feeding frenzy when they come to your house. They want to buy things because they had this great experience. They're not enrolled. So when people are coming to events, they're primed and ready to buy. So when I ask them, who wants to know how to get them? Me. And then they thank me because I'm giving them this opportunity. So if you set it up from the very beginning, and on our team, there's tons of training with that, on essentialwellness.life, Aisha has a whole PowerPoint on effective sampling, which her and Josie did at like midnight in Prague when we were there, like on the spot, like those tips. It was amazing. And so it's really about getting people who are interested, have an aha moment at the class. You're in front of them. I mean, honestly, I'm going to quote Elise, and if you have people that have never used oils and they come to a class, you get what you get. Like, you didn't do the prep work. And so you probably won't have 100% close rate there. And so you have to do the work ahead of time, make sure they love the oils, they had this great moment. So if Sally liked peppermint and Lucy liked orange and Dave liked, I don't know what Dave likes, if he liked frankincense, they're all going to be like, oh, dude, I use this, dude, I use this. And you have all these free testimonials coming in, and they're not even enrolled. Everybody's going to want to buy a kit that has at least those 3 oils because people who aren't even enrolled are raving about it. So it's a whole different setup, and you're setting yourself up to be successful on the front end. And then the back end, you kind of already know the results that are going to happen because you did your prep work.
So we have a lot of questions about our tips on effective sampling. For those of you that are on my team on Essential Wellness or under Tiffin, if you go to our essentialwellness.life team website, they're under our business training. However, I will share the video with Mandy for her team. I'll send that after the webinar, and so she can share it with all of you. And it's, 15, 20, 30-minute video, and we go through very exact scripting for different scenarios and really talk about the power of effective sampling. And as Tiffin said, right after we learned this from Elise, we went up, we made a PowerPoint, we recorded it, we documented it while we were fresh in Prague. So we'll share that with all of you so you can take notes and implement that. And it really is true, Kim, that if you take that time to really prep the people that are coming to your class, to sample, to have communication with them, then by the time they come to your class, hopefully they're pretty close and ready and wanting to buy. If they've had a bad experience, if they've had no experience, then maybe it's not quite time to invite them to the class yet. You want to keep working with them before you actually get them into the class. And we talk about that in this other webinar. There's another question about sampling effectively. So we'll share that because that's really like a whole nother class.
That's a whole nother class.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have another question here. She's not able to type it in, so I'm going to go ahead and read it. She just texted it to me. Can you ask what to do when someone has so many health issues you don't know even where to start? You don't want to overwhelm, but you want to help make a difference.
I'll answer that question. What I typically do, because I actually do work with a lot of people with a lot of health issues and have had that myself, is I'll ask them for the top 3. Like, what are the top 3 things that are bothering you the most? And if you're working with somebody that has chronic health conditions, they have cancer, they have, disease process, that's a huge undertaking and not necessarily your place to take that on. So you can look at the symptoms of that. Are they not sleeping? Are they having a lot of pain and inflammation? Is there a lot of stress in their life? Like, I ask them, what are the top 3 things that are bothering you the most that you would like to start with? And then addressing those symptoms. And then as you work with them more, you could guide them towards a doctor that might be working with the essential oils, or as you get to know them, begin to work with a bigger protocol. But it's also important when somebody has a lot of health issues, you don't want them to take a lot of stuff in the beginning because it can have detox processes and they can have a lot of reactions to that. So it's super important to start really slow and be super mindful with people that are really ill.
I have a question on top of that, because I do have a builder who is the one that asked this question. She's gotten a lot of people on LLVs, and she's had a lot of people that have had reactions when getting on the LLVs. So I'm interested in your take on that. And because I've discussed with her what I would say, but I'm interested in what you ladies, how you would address that.
So typically we recommend that people start with a half dose, first of all, because you never know what's going on with somebody internally. And we've also seen people can have a heavy detox if they have a heavy toxic load. So start somebody with a half dose, see how they do. And if you just make that as a general practice, then oftentimes that is gonna reduce the amount of problems. So if somebody then starts with a full dose, they take the full dose, then I usually have them back off to the half dose. And I'll have them stay on that for a period of time until their body adjusts. I make sure they up their water, that they have a little lemon in their water. And if the reaction is really strong and really intense, then I might have them go off the LLV and start with some lemon in the water for a while, and then introduce a second product, and then introduce a third product. You can also look at introducing the Terrazyme and or the PB Assist, and start just supporting the digestive system before you bring in the supplements, and give it a little bit of a priming before you do that. So again, sometimes by asking more information, by looking at what's going on, but then also explaining to the person that this can be normal. It doesn't mean that it's bad, that it's actually information for them to have. And that if they're, and ask their permission, are you willing, like, I'd really like to work through this with you. And I ask that you be patient, and that we're going to get you to the other side of that. But it's going to take time. And then Dr. Josie, who's one of our advising NDs, says, yeah, start with half or quarter dose. And I have found that the alpha CRS can be too much for very ill people in the beginning. So sometimes start with the daily nutrient pack. Thank you, Josie, for that tip. And so have them start with that, or if they already have the LOV, you could just take the alpha CRS out and have them start with the multi and the omegas, and then in time start to add in one alpha CRS and build back up. Is that helpful? Great. Let's see. Okay, and we're past time. I mean, we can go a little longer. Are you guys good? I mean, we're here. I love the discussion. I think it's super valuable. If you need to hop off, by all means, you can hop off, but we'll keep answering.
Can I just say, you guys, while they're thinking of other questions, just thank you. I love that doTERRA does the cross-lining, and I love that we're literally a doTERRA family where we just want to help each other. It's so good to it's refreshing to hear from other leaders, because my people hear from me all the time. I know like the funny voices and stuff is fun, but they're sick of it. I'm sure of it. So like, it's nice to hear from normal people like you and to just have a different take on it. So thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being willing to share with my team and my family.
Oh, such a pleasure. Such a pleasure.
I love it. The crossline is incredible. It's
yes.
really, like, we on our team, it's really this interesting thing, the dynamic of, especially here in Portland, like we have so many doctors on Aisha's team. And so Aisha hosts something that she's talking about at the Eco Trust, and my team went ballistic. Like this thing that she did last night, they're still talking about, like they posted a video today. She had maybe 15, 20 slides of, I should tell her about, what I'm thinking. I don't know.
We actually,
I
will extend the invitation, because we do a live monthly educational event, which I've hosted for 7 years, and we have different experts come and speak. And then we also do a live educational webinar, which is actually happening tomorrow. And the speaker, Jeffrey Trafankian, will be speaking about home detox, and he talks about the amount of chemicals in our home, in our cleaning products, and our skincare products, how damaging and dangerous those are to our health, and how to basically then clean that out, make your own home cleaning products with the essential oils, and then also talking about doTERRA's cleaning products. So it's actually, this particular class is hugely informative and one that everybody should watch. So I will also share that link for that webinar with you, Mandy, and you can share that with your team. And all of you can tune into that live presentation. It will be actually tomorrow at noon. And we do have that recorded. So if you're unable to join us live, then you're welcome to check out the recording. Yeah.
We have pictures of those, what was on there. It is so powerful, because if you have people that are like, I'm totally healthy, these are the slides that you need to have on your phone at all times and say, oh, do you wash your clothes? Do you eat? Do you clean your house? Does someone clean your house? Okay, well, maybe perhaps try this. So when you walk through your neighborhood, they don't smell like dryer sheets and I'm not polluted with secondhand toxic stuff. Saying, I have quick, witty answers to no thank you. I'm just saying.
The insightful thing from that presentation was, I feel like a lot of us in doTERRA are really educated and know, but there are so many people that actually don't know what they don't know. And as wellness advocates, the more we can educate ourselves on our products, on our supplements, on our other home care items, and how crucial and important and amazing they are, and how to replace other items, and just having all this knowledge, it really is powerful to have that in your own knowledge bank to then bring out as needed with different people that you're talking to and different classes, etc. So anyway, we have another question here. This is from Diane. How do you handle sampling for people who are hosting a class for you and don't necessarily want to have time to sample prior to class? Do you want to take that one, Tiffin?
Diane went to Prague. She was at Prague with us. Diane knows the answer to this question. You take it. You did the effective sampling. I don't want to be sarcastic. I'm just saying, this is part of hosting a class, and if they can't host it, right? If the host can't sample effectively, it's your job. right? You can get names from the host and you can call those people and you can do the whole protocol of like calling people 2 days prior, texting them 2 hours before, hey, I have a surprise for you, looking forward to seeing you, like all of those different techniques. All of that is in that webinar that you guys did in Prague. And that if your host won't do it, then you do it for your host, right? Because it's still your job.
Okay, I have a golden nugget for all of you. You guys ready? This was worth waiting till 8:15 for. If you have a class and no one has been sampled, because let's be real, sometimes that's going to happen, right? Okay, this is what you're going to do. And I'm going to give this credit to Melina Harrison, who taught this to me. Okay, so as the presenter, you're presenting to a group of people that you don't know. You're going to get a list of those names of people who are going to be in the class, you know, the day before. You are going to take 20 minutes to half an hour. This will be so worth your time. And you're going to call each individual. Hey, Mandy, I'm going to be teaching the class tomorrow. I cannot wait to meet you. I want to make it really relevant for you. Can you tell me something that you would like to learn tomorrow, what you're working on? Mandy, what are you working on? We're rolling.
I'm a really horrible PMS.
Horrible PMS. Okay, great. I'm going to have a special gift for you tomorrow. I can't wait to see you. See you tomorrow at 7.
It better be good. See, horrible PMS.
Okay. So what you've done, okay, so you know that Mandy has horrible PMS. So what are we going to sample her with? We're going to have some Clary Calm or some Clary Sage waiting for her. So you've just had one touch with Mandy, right? So Mandy walks in the door at class. Hey, Mandy, so nice to meet you. I brought you the sample. I want you to go in the restroom, or, you know, if it's Deep Blue, or give me your wrist. I want to put some Clary Calm on your wrist or some Clary Sage on the back of your neck. This is really helpful to help you with PMS. I wanted you to experience it right now. And you sample them. You sample them when they walk in the door. So this is a second touch, because many of you know that before people are going to buy, oftentimes they need to be touched at least 7 or more times. They need to have an exposure. So every time I've now talked to Mandy, I've now given her a sample. Now she's more familiar with me. And so from teaching the class, I've already begun to establish trust and relationship with her. And then when we're in the class, you can say, I mean, PMS is a harder thing to have an immediate response to, right? So let's say she had some aches and pains and I gave her some Deep Blue. You could say, hey, Mandy, you know, how are your neck and shoulders feeling? Or how did you like that sample that I gave you? And then you immediately might have a testimonial from someone in the audience. So if you know that somebody has a sample that might be more challenging, ask somebody that you gave peppermint or digest zen. Like, do your best to give a fast acting oil that you know somebody's going to get an experience from. And then you have testimonials in your class. So there is your golden nugget on how to sample if you've not had the opportunity to do that prior to an event.
That's why she's presidential. She has patience.
Okay, so here's another question from Lindsay. With the close, how do you clarify that the below wholesale LRP is an addition to layering on top of wholesale instead of different than wholesale? I've had several shares confused on this, so I want to make sure it's clear.
Can you clarify that a little bit more for me? I'm not sure where the question is on that. Like,
how do you clarify that the below wholesale and LRP is an addition? So I think what she's asking is that you're getting that basically the below wholesale is the LRP. So right. Clarifying that it's a monthly ordering program. I think it's, Lindsay, is there anything you want to add to that?
Because the difference between wholesale is you could buy it once and never buy it again. And so they don't, I mean, you just get below wholesale, it's still a great deal. But if it's below wholesale, then that's a monthly order where you get lots of doTERRA points. You get the privilege of ordering before the 15th and spending $125 and getting a free product. There's on and on and on and on where you can totally like explain that out. Like that was one of the questions when we were like, what are the different ways that you did that? She might not have been here for that part.
I have another question.
Okay.
What was she's asking, what was the oil or experience that for you got you hooked and really sold on doTERRA and made you want to share and do the business?
Is that for one of us or both Tiffin and I?
Both of you.
You go first.
I will go first. The first powerful, well, briefly, my story is that I actually was introduced to the oils at the yoga studio where Erin worked at the desk. I was a yoga teacher. I bought my first oils out of the trunk of her car. This is a very famous life-changing story. Little did I know what was going to happen in both of our lives on a dark, rainy night in Portland. But I actually had no interest in the business. I used the oils for a year. I enjoyed them. I was afraid to take them internally. And then I sort of had an epiphany moment and decided we needed to go to convention. At the time, I was very ill with Lyme disease. I had insomnia for over 3 years. I was one of those very sick people. And when I was at convention, this was in 2011, there were only 3,000 people there. Can you imagine? 3,000 people. They served us lunch with the oils. There was the oil room. The convention was in the room that we have check-in in. And I started taking Slim and Sassy for no apparent reason, just because. Like, we would go in that oil room and we were just doused. It was like, especially back then when you're new to the oils, you're like, oh, I can just put all of them on. So I started taking the Slim and Sassy internally, and I was doing that continuously for a couple days, and then I started to sleep. And this was my life-changing moment because, like I said, I had insomnia for 3 friggin' years, and I was in a hotel room with 3 other ladies tossing and turning in my bed every night and exhausted. And I first thought, this is a friggin' miracle. It's like, it must be a fluke. But then I continued to sleep, and I had really bad fatigue and brain fog. That began to clear, and I basically came home and dove deep into the oils, and I started building the business as soon as I got home from the convention. When I was at the convention, I was a manager. I didn't even have my power of 3. I didn't even know what the power of 3 was. And then Erin told me she was leaving for Maui, and I didn't know what was going to happen with her leaving, but I just jumped in. I started teaching one class. I basically memorized. I didn't even know that much about the oils. I memorized one class, and I taught that one class for a year, and I moved from silver to platinum in my first year of building.
Jeez. So it was Slim and Sassy.
It was a Slim and Sassy because that was my gateway oil, and I love that oil. I sell that oil to everybody. I think everybody should take it. I talk about it beyond. It's marketed for weight loss, but it's really a health tonic, and it helps with energy, mental clarity, blood sugar balance, cravings, sleep, inflammation. And so I really teach about it on a much deeper level, and it's definitely one of my desert island oils.
That's awesome.
Sorry if that was a longer answer than you were looking for.
That's great. What about you, Tiffin? What was your gateway oil?
I have 2. My first one was I had sinus infection for 20 years, like off and on. I mean, in 4 years of doTERRA, I had 22 sinus infections in 4 years that I lived here. And so I was actually invited to a girls' night, went to the class, and there was no alcohol. It was actually a class. I was a little bit frustrated, but anyway, that's a whole funny story. Everything that could go wrong at that class went wrong. And then they were having these, really moving stories and talking about how they can help each other. I was like, okay, great. Can I just get my peppermint and go? Like, I need all the things peppermint. So I basically spent $300 with anything that had peppermint in it because it helped me breathe. And then I slept through the night. I met with a person that was like the person that enrolls me upline, and she had jasmine, and I smelled it and was like, how do I get that? How do I get that oil? And she's like, well, they gave it to us at convention last year. I'm like, how do I go to convention? I have to go to convention. Like, I have to have this oil. That kind of compulsory 4 days after I enrolled. So I bought a convention ticket and went to convention, and I have chased jasmine ever since. every time I can get, I win it every time. When I could win 2, I did. I have to have jasmine all the time. Yeah.
So I'm sure you're really happy when they came out with the touch.
I was the one that screamed. That person in the back that screamed. That was me standing up, screaming at convention.
Yeah, it's about you, Mandy. I want to hear it from you too.
Oh my goodness. You know what was the beginning for me was, it's so simple, lemon oil. Lemon oil was, so you guys know that Boyd Truman is my husband's cousin. Boyd Truman was the one that came into my home. I mean, everybody knows my story on this too. I was 8 months pregnant, or no, 7 months pregnant with my 4th. And I tell everybody I was the last person you talked to about doing anything like this because I was hormonal. I had 4 little kids under the age of 5. I mean, I was just the last person, but he, of course, is Boyd Truman. And he was consistent and gave us oils and taught us how to use everything. But the first time he came over to our house, I really didn't want him there. Like, I knew this was an MLM. I heard it was essential oils, and I'm like, what a stupid MLM. Essential oils? Are you kidding me? Like, my parents were involved in network marketing. So I understood network marketing, and I did not like network marketing. So I told my husband, I'm like, look, that's fine. He can come and talk to you. I'm not gonna sit around and listen, because he wants your money. That's what he wants. And so, like, he came, he sat, I smelled these smells, I sat down, and it was cold and flu season, and I totally had a cold. And my kids, that's my conversion story, is having 4 kids, you guys. You want to convert someone, get a mom with 4 kids. Get a mom with 1 kid, because my kids were sick all the time. And it was always a ripple effect, that one of them got sick, I got sick, the babysitter got sick. And I'm getting to that, but Boyd basically said, I noticed you're really stuffy, and I was sick. And he's like, well, here's a bottle of lemon oil. Go ahead and just start drinking that in your water. Helps break down the mucus, flushes out the junk in your system. And I heard blah, 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 free lemon oil. And I went, okay, thank you. Bye. Go away now. And I took the oil and I drank it and I loved it. And when I ran out, I started freaking out because I loved it in my water. And I did the Amazon thing where I looked online and I'm like, how can I get this without him knowing about it? Because I don't want him to know I'm interested. But I got confused because the 100% was saying don't take internal. And I was like, I'm totally confused. So I, went to Boyd and asked him more questions. And that was really the one that got me started on all of it. And it really wasn't until my babysitter a few months later said, what are you doing different? Where I was like, I don't know. Why? She's like, your kids haven't been sick for months. And you know how I know? Because I'm not sick, because your kids got me sick all the time. You did not pay me enough to get sick with all your kids, but I love them that much. And so that's really when the light bulb went on and I went, you're right. My gosh, I haven't had to worry about a stuffy nose or kids throwing up or any of that stuff. And that was fantastic as a mom, because I'm sorry, it's hard enough being a mom, but when you have sick kids, it's so hard. It's just another notch, another weight you have to carry on you. And it's exhausting. And I will tell you, 3 years straight, my kids have a perfect school attendance, and it's awesome. It's awesome. So that was pretty much it, how I got into it.
That's so awesome. I didn't know that story.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's awesome.
My whole other team does. They're like sleeping right now. They're like, tell me when she's done.
Well, that's the same about my Lyme story. My whole team knows that.
Well, you know what? We need to do a separate webinar with you with your journey, because I would love for my team to learn from you.
Yeah, I actually have
Really
a 2-hour recording.
Really good.
I would love the recording, but I would love it just with you. I really would love the personal touch. If you're willing to maybe look into the next month or two, I would love to hear from you.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, you guys, we're at 8:30. Any more questions?
I have one from my friend who can't seem to, she says she can't text into there, so I don't understand.
No
She is asked, I believe she's dealing with Lyme disease right now herself.
Mm-hmm.
And she had a question about the Slim and Sassy and blood thinners. Like, I'm assuming you're not on blood thinners. She asked about, nervous people have asked her about blood thinners and like cinnamon or Slim and Sassy. What is your suggestion on that?
Like, so if they're on Coumadin or
Yeah.
So Josie, if you're on the line and you want to type in on that question, that would be great. I know that if somebody is on blood thinners, anything they bring into their protocol, they need to then have that regulated with their doctor and be really consistent with it. So, and then I know
And that's so hard because doctors just don't know anything about oils. So
but
that's really hard.
Yeah,
This is a whole webinar subject.
It is. And
it's
let me know when you're doing it.
It's right. Oh yeah, it is. It really is. Hold on, Jose. I'm gonna bring Josie on because she's gonna be able to answer that question better than me. She's our doctor, and I don't want to misspeak. So, Jose, I'm gonna promote you. Are you cool with that? Hold on. Give me a second.
Ooh, pretty picture.
Wait, are we seeing her? Wait, hold on a second.
She's like a model.
You guys, I'm in bed.
Okay. If you want, do you want to just talk? I won't turn your camera.
I'll talk. Wait, you can see. I don't know. Maybe you can see me. It's too dark. It's very dark.
That's great. That's great. If you could answer.
Okay, I'll do the thing. So, yeah, I just talked about this with our other Mandy on our team. One of the things I like to have people start to realize is to ask if it is an objective, if they are open to the idea of, or if they would like to be able to decrease their medication. Not that you take on the doctor role, but finding that out from the people. So if they say I'm on blood thinners, you sort of say, okay, well, with natural medicine, we want it to be effective, correct? Yes. So it is naturally everything that you are going to be, almost everything that you're going to be working with is anti-inflammatory in some action or another. And that has indirect and direct actions on your blood, on actually thinning your blood. And it's making you more healthy. So a side benefit is that you might need to decrease your medication because you are becoming more healthy. So we have to ask, is that a goal for you? I mean, it's kind of like that thing of like, do you want to buy retail or not? Do you want to be a smart person or not? So it's kind of asking them, is it a goal of yours to be healthy? Because the side benefit of natural medicine should be, if it is effective, it should be that you need less pharmaceuticals, because you need pharmaceuticals because you're not in a healthy state. So people have to kind of think that through. So then I do guide them with things like blood pressure and lipid lowering, but specifically blood pressure or blood sugar medications. And blood thinning. So blood thinning and blood pressure are the ones that the doctors actually monitor pretty consistently. And so sort of say, you just need, if that's a goal of yours and you would like that to happen, you want to make your doctor aware that you are working natural medicines, and a side effect is that your blood pressure or your blood, the thinning might come into more normal ranges. So, right, that's the way you want to say it, that it might start to come into more normal ranges. And so you'd want them to be monitoring it a little more closely so that if you need less medication, that they can help adjust, they can help you with that. Because the role of your doctor, whatever doctor you're working with, is that they should be, like we've learned convention, learned being a naturopath, they definitely are there in partnership with you. So if they don't feel like you can come in and you can tell them that you would like to be bringing this to them and you want them to work with you, I would seriously question whether that's the right doctor for you.
I'm going to add one more thing. I feel like I want you guys to know this information on this topic. When I had Lyme, after surgery, I did form a blood clot, a DVT in my left calf. And so I decided not to go on Coumadin or any of those blood thinners. It was recommended I take aspirin. I took Chinese herbs. I was monitoring the clot, and I did that for a couple of years and nothing was changing. And I actually started taking DDR prime, and my fibrinogen levels went back to normal and the clot dissolved itself. So if you have those kind of issues, absolutely. DDR prime, I think, does not get the recognition. I think it gets a little lost in our line. That is a powerhouse combination of oils that everybody should be taking. It's anti-cancerous, super good for the blood, anti-inflammatory, especially if you're dealing with any kind of chronic inflammation, pain, disease, DDR prime. So just a little.
I love that.
There.
I know Aisha, DDR is incredibly powerful for helping with inflammation and bringing that down and the thinning. So Coumadin and warfarin are not positive medications. They really, there's instances where they're necessary, but for long-term use, they are one of those medications that are overused. So I'm not saying across the board, but it's that issue where if you can find natural alternatives that do the same job for you and you can come into more normal ranges, then I think that's a wonderful option for people. So, and the same thing with most of the Lipitors. So most of the lipid-low medications, there's so much we can do with natural medicine to bring, and diet and exercise. So it's except for a very small percentage of the population, it's very small percentage that have such high genetic lipids that they need a medication like that. It is up there, that and what's the purple pill for, basically the blood Lipitors and the blood lipid low medications, and the purple pill for digestive reflux, and then the one for erections. What's that other one? Anyway, I forget.
I don't need that, so I don't know.
Well, I'm saying those are the 3 highest selling medications. That is what most the pharmaceutical industries are mostly living on, and none of them are necessary except for very small populations. And so our natural medicines work so much better.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, thank you so much. I want to be mindful of the time. However, let's see, I know questions are still coming in. What this is telling me is it might be fantastic to do another call soon. We could do another topic and another Q&A, because I know we could probably talk all night about everything. And I would be happy to come do my Lyme presentation, Mandy, for you and your team.
Oh my gosh, they would love that. Maybe that's something we can schedule. And then I'm happy to return. I can do one another month if you'd like, and we can discuss.
You can share what was the video you did, the Dr. Hill video a couple of years ago? Was it
There's an oil for that?
Oh, yes.
So if you go on the Diamond page, my folder of all of my videos are on there.
Oh, are they? Oh, because
I go on the Diamond page.
Pulled down, and those are so amazing. I love those. I used to love to share them.
I put my name in the search bar, and it'll all come up. It's all from my Dropbox. I can send you whatever you want. But just to let you guys know, I should be having a new video coming out in June.
Oh, love it.
So we're going to be working on it in May.
Okay. So just to wrap up, I'm going to share the link for our webinar on Thursday. And I'm also going to share the link for effective sampling. And I'm also going to share another bonus link for effective inviting. So you can share that with your team. That's all stuff from your lease training.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
And I know, I'll tell you what, you guys, because we went so long, I'm going to give my team till midnight tonight. I will pick the winner tomorrow morning.
Tiffin.
But okay. Look at this. It's almost 9 o'clock. It takes you 15 minutes. That's like 15 minutes. 5 more people.
I have to give till midnight because I have East Coasters on here. So
they should already have it in. I've already actually done mine. Right. Like they've been texting them while we've been
Stop sending me questions. Start doing the recordings.
Exactly. My people were like already on it. They're like done.
Okay. As soon as we get off this call, I'm going to make a meme on our Pathway to Success page, post them on that thread. We'll pick the winners. Just get it done, get it up.
Get
And
it done. Take action.
thank you, ladies. This has been so fun. Let's
It has
definitely
been.
do it
Thank
again.
you.
Thank you all for
Thanks
joining.
for asking me to be brave, Mandy.
We had a lot of people on the Facebook Live and on the recording, so it's, you know, it's really awesome. This is no fun if you guys don't show up to be part of.
I'd like to thank the Academy. Let's face it, I'm the one that has won. None of you can beat me. I don't know. Prove me otherwise.
Mandy asked me to do a webinar.
Prove me otherwise.
Oh, sorry. I think I have a bigger trophy over here.
Oh!
I'm bigger than yours. Sorry, honey. Sorry.
Drop the mic. Oh, dang. It's okay. I'm creeping up behind. Don't you keep watching. You just keep watching.
Thank you so much. I love the collaboration. It was so fun.
That was fun.
Mandy, my first webinar with Mandy and Aisha. First one ever.
The first of many to come. Okay, you guys have an awesome night.
Thanks, guys.